Hey, baby. You know about that? Hey, 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 JB. Oh, hello.
Get it, KB.
There
Get it,
you go. You
KB.
don't want me to freestyle. You don't want me to
Oh,
freestyle.
yes, we do. Come on. Oh, hello, Kevin.
Oh, hello, JB. Good to see you.
Great to see you. So excited to have you on. We've caught up a couple times this week, which just always
Yes,
feels good. And
of course.
obviously, I know who I'm speaking with. I know who
Yes,
I'm looking at. For our listeners, for our viewers, we have my dear friend, Kevin Bryant. I'm
yes.
introducing you. Kevin, who are you? What defines you and why are you here?
Hi, everybody. My name is Kevin Bryant. I've known Jeremy for just under 7 years, believe it or not. But who am I? I am just a kid from the west side of Chicago. I've grown up in Chicago my entire life. I'm a diehard White Sox fan, 2005. There we go. But I'm here today to talk about mentorship, which is something extremely important to me. I currently work at Adobe, and we'll talk about my role later. But simply put, I'm just a man that really loves mentorship. I think it's super important, and we're going to talk about all the aspects of that in just a second. I'm sure Jeremy's going to take us there.
I will take everybody there. You're
Yeah.
also a dad of two
Oh
extremely cute kids,
man, my wife's going to kill me without mentioning that. Yes, I have two kids.
a husband.
Yes, a husband. What my youngest kid is 8 months old. Andreas, today he's 8 months old, and then Naomi, she's 2.5. She'll be 3 in May. So just pray for me, guys. Just please, God. you know. Oh my gosh.
All right, Kevin. Well, I'm excited to have you on this. We're excited to listen. You bring so much dynamic energy to every room that
Yes,
you're in,
absolutely.
which partially defines some of the characteristics and skill set that you're going to be sharing with the OhHello community.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about your personality traits. Tell us what motivates you. Tell us a little bit about how you define who you are and how you've gotten to where you are within the ecosystem of tech,
Right.
marketing, and just
Right.
your ascension within your career because you've been crushing it, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. My main job is to bring people together and to be undeniably curious about who they are and not sit in judgment, like that old Ted Lasso quote, right? Be curious, not judgmental. I absolutely love that quote because I feel like that's really who I try to be all the time. I started my career in sales, 7 years of sales, and I wanted a career change. So I got into digital marketing world. And one of the biggest things I learned in my life is that failure teaches you a lot. When I first started in digital marketing, I didn't like it. They had someone like me who's used to sales, talking, being an introvert, talking to people, making connections. I was in Excel doing VLOOKUPs all day and pivot tables. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And it crushed me because I had worked so hard to get to this point and it was a quote unquote failure. I didn't know where I was going to go. And so I went from this huge agency working on these big brands like Hyatt and Choice Hotels and Kellogg's to this little small company called Tube Mogul. And it was right down the street from my other job. And I met a man named Jeremy Bloom. Also, Matt Kiska was there. And I was like, hey, can you guys give me a shot? And they hired me. 4 months later, we got acquired by Adobe, and I still work there. So, let you know, a lot of things can come from failure.
What's your role at Adobe? What do you do?
So currently at Adobe, I am a strategic customer success manager, fancy word for account manager in the higher education space. So I work with a lot of Big Ten schools, Michigan, Nebraska, Illinois, all those fun schools. I also have an HBCU, historically black college or university called Bowie State in Maryland. It's about 45 minutes northeast of Washington, D.C. And it's just incredible. So my role as the account manager or the customer success manager is to make sure they love Adobe, they love our products, that I build a relationship with them, and that hopefully they renew their contract every 3 years. So I'm just their right hand man. I call myself Mr. Adobe to everyone I meet on those campuses. I'm like, hey, I'm Mr. Adobe, and they're like, all right, man. And so I get texts. I get more texts than emails because I make those relationships personal. And so they'll send me texts and say, hey, Mr. Adobe, I need X, Y, and Z. Can you help me? And I make those connections. So
That's awesome. Well, you are absolutely such a connector, as you and I
yeah,
were talking about before. We did a longer catch up than
yeah,
I typically do, just because
yeah.
Uh, anyway, with that said,
Right.
what are some aspects that excite you about mentorship? What excites you about the OhHello community?
Well, I love the OhHello community and just the idea of mentorship because coming up and really not knowing what the heck I was doing in a lot of situations, as far as my corporate job or in life, I relied heavily on folks that were, 10 to 15 to 20 years older than me. And I call them OGs, original gangsters. And they kind of took me under the wing and said, "Hey, Kevin, like this is how you do it. And don't worry about the minutia of this job. This is the big picture." And those OGs, I just absolutely just thank you all so much. I guess can I name some of the OGs? Is that okay?
Yeah,
Is
of
it?
course you can. Absolutely. Kevin, this is about you as one of our experts, as one of our hellos, as one of
Yeah,
our mentors.
yeah,
Absolutely. Give some kudos, some
yeah.
accreditation, some
I mean, just
hat
first
slaps.
off, Wes Everson for just uncovering kind of what I was best at. She made me a trainer at Tube Mogul / Adobe, and that kind of opened up my entire world. I never thought it was possible to do what I do and be this sales guy or whatever you want to call me, really extroverted in this digital analytical space. I didn't know how to marry the two. So she taught me, hey, you could be a trainer and that's how you do it. And that completely changed the trajectory of my career. So thank you to her.
Well,
Obviously,
trajectory
Jeremy.
of your career, trajectory of your career, but also just the life experiences of
Yes.
traveling to
Yes.
South America,
Yes.
Asia, Europe,
Yes. Oh my.
every major city in North America. Like,
Yes, yes, yes. It made me connect with more people than I ever have in my entire life. Again, Japan, Brazil, but not only that, but just within my company, I began to be somewhat of like a cult following because I went into every single office and everyone knew why I was there. I was there to kick ass and take names, and I had to connect with the people there, and it was just so fulfilling for me because I love connecting. I love meeting new people. I love meeting people that are different than me, and me saying, "Hey, I have no clue about X, Y, and Z. I don't know about your culture. I don't know about this, or I don't know about the food you eat. Tell me all about that." And so it really just fed my soul doing that. But there's so many more people that I can name, especially with the
name
mentor.
them, name them,
Oh
name
my
them, name
gosh.
them.
Patrick McConaughey, Megan Seghetti, we got Kyle Johnson, we got Michael Cruz, Matt Kiska, what's up? What's going on, man? All my current people that I work with, of course. Man, you're gonna have me here all day, Jeremy. My wife was a mentor at one point, Michelle Chin, Brett, everybody at Tube, you know who you are. You guys, thank you.
That's amazing. What would you tell your 25-year-old self, looking back, knowing,
Wow.
you're creeping close to 40. You're creeping,
Yeah,
creeping a little bit.
I'll be 38 in July. Oh, yeah. So yeah,
So, what would you tell
I'm
your younger self?
I would tell my younger self to work your ass off and don't be afraid to go out and get exactly what you want, to use your skills. Okay. I honestly thought, Jeremy, this is real. I thought that you go to a job, you work there, about 45% of you thinks that it's okay, but the rest you're just providing. The CEO, whoever your manager is a person in the high tower, and you don't question them. Doesn't matter what you want, you do the job. That's how I kind of lived my life in my corporate world, and just tried to not get fired. That's literally what I was trying to do, is just surviving and working because I thought that's what I was supposed to do. I would say, hey, you have a voice, you have autonomy. What you want to do is important. You have a gift, and harness that gift. Learn to present. Don't be afraid to present in front of people, if you don't know what you're talking about.
One of the best presenters I've ever come
Oh my
across,
god,
by the way. Keep going.
but it's. I learned, and Jeremy, at first, what's funny you say that because I used to not like presenting at all, and I learned that I was only nervous because I thought I was unprepared, and I thought I wasn't the expert, and so I would tell my 25-year-old self, be the expert, do the work, and then when you get in front of those people, there's nothing that anyone can say, right? And so do the work, kick ass, and use your skills early as possible because it'll make you a happier person, young Bryant, young Kevin Bryant.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
Knowing that we're integrated in over 40 plus charities within the
yeah.
states and a few hundred globally, what are some charities that are near and dear to your heart, and why?
I got to mention my mom's charity. She works for Catholic Charity. She's over at Oak Park, and it's one of the best charities. They donate stuff to
Well,
women and families in need. Yeah, yeah.
pardon
Go
me,
ahead.
Kevin. I was just going to say, for our friends and listeners who aren't in the Chicagoland
Oh,
area,
that's
Oak
right.
Park
Forgot.
is it's a really nice suburb adjacent to the city.
Absolutely, adjacent to where I grew up, and so it's near and dear to me because
On the
we
west side of
donate
Chicago is where you grew
west
up.
side of Chicago, and we they're doing a lot of things, as far as baby clothes and things for women that need furniture, things like that. And she's always trying to help out families that need it. It's a wonderful charity. And the second one is Austin Coming Together. Austin is a community within Chicago. When I grew up, it was pretty rough. I'm not going to lie, but it's called ACT, Austin Coming Together. They are trying to make improvements to the area. They're offering mentorship programs just like this one. They're offering different block parties and just different donations to community centers, things like that. And I've worked with them for about 4 years, and I actually was on their board at one point. And Austin Coming Together is fantastic. We've done a fundraiser for them in the past, but hey, that's someone I definitely want to mention as well.
Amazing. Amazing. Kevin,
Yes.
you are such an inspiring person. We're so excited to have you as part of the OhHello community. Thank you for being here. Thank you to our listeners for listening. Thank you for watching.
Yes. Oh, hello.
Oh, hello. Bye, Kevin. Thanks, my friend.
Good. Thank you, JB. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Peace. Peace.